Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be, if you don't believe it, ... I'll finish that thought in a minute. So, allow your body to relax. Fill up your lungs. Nothing exaggerated. Just slow in and slow out. We don't need any fancy type of breathing to do anything. Just if your body's relaxed and you're breathing comfortably, your brain will perceive that you're safe. If you're like this and breathing shallow, it won't. So do your best to notice your physical tension and allow it to relax so that you can breathe. All right, so if you don't believe it, ... So what I'm talking about here is if you don't believe in TMS, or if you don't believe it applies to you, or even if you do believe TMS is a real thing and you believe that it applies to you, if you don't believe that you have what it takes to recover, if you don't believe any of those three things, it's fairly unlikely that you're going to get better. I don't mean to say that to scare anybody whose belief is a little shaky, because I'm going to help you with that part in a minute or two. But this is a brain game. This set of symptoms or pains is created by a brain that is perceiving some type of danger. The pain is there as a warning against this danger. And so if you don't believe that that's a real thing, it's unlikely you're going to convince your brain to turn it off, right? Or if you don't believe that that applies to you because you have a quote-unquote real problem, it's highly unlikely you're going to convince this scared brain to turn off the symptoms or pains from this quote-unquote real problem, right? It just doesn't make sense. The subconscious brain's running the show, and it operates based on the knowledge it has and the beliefs we have. So much of what I do is sharing what I've learned about this stuff over the past 24, almost 25 years now, and trying to make it simple to understand, make it simple to figure out if it applies to you, and then simple to implement so that you believe that you do have what it takes to get well. But if you don't believe TMS is a thing, or that most of you do, if you're watching my stuff, you believe that this mind-body perceived danger pain is a real thing. It actually exists, and it is the cause of the vast majority of pain around the globe. Many still struggle with, does this apply to me? Because what I have feels so real. If I push on this body part, the pain is excruciating. So to some, that feels very real. And I'll tell you, if I had somebody push on my lower back when I was going through my 13 years, it would hurt. Chiropractic, massage, physical therapy, none of those things felt good at all. Even just stretching felt awful. The presence of pain, or the presence of pain upon pressing on it, does not mean it's not created in the brain. It just means that when we're feeling pain, pressing, the brain might go like, hey, stop it. So, where are you stuck? Are you stuck with the belief that this applies to you? If you are, there are two assessments. One is called the pain test, but you can substitute the word pain for whatever your symptoms happen to be, because it's the characteristics of the symptoms that matter in determining if something is TMS or perceived danger symptoms. So those two assessments are at my website, painfreeyou.com. Click on the Get Help menu at the top, and then look for the Getting Started page, right? On that page, there's the pain test, And then there's an FIT assessment that stands for Functional Intermittent T Triggered, right? And that is a test that Dr. Schubner put together. He's one of the leading medical doctors, in my opinion, existing in this mind-body space. So if you doubt that this applies to you, do the assessments. That's how we rule in TMS. We don't rule it in by talking to 16 doctors and getting their opinions. We rule it in by seeing how the pain or symptoms behave. Does stress correlate with the intensity level? Does fear correlate with the intensity level? So in any event, do that if you've got any doubt whatsoever. So if you believe this mind-body stuff, TMS, perceived danger, is a real thing, you believe it applies to you, but you're struggling with, well, I don't believe I can get better. I will tell you firsthand, I've worked with many people who had that same belief, like, I don't know, I don't think I can. And I've personally worked with people in my group coaching program who showed up to the very first call like a deer in headlights, completely terrified, overwhelmed, scared to death, just like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if the group thing is for me. And what happens is, as you immerse yourself in this accurate knowledge about how the system works and the path to teach your brain that you're actually not in danger, once you immerse yourself in that and make it your goal to continuously reassure your brain that nothing bad's going on, and then not just what you say, but showing the brain that you're okay by not acting as terrified. Now that's tough to do, but when you have the accurate knowledge, it's easier to use the logical, rational brain to calm down the fears because you know what's going on and you know it applies to you, right? So we need to build belief in ourselves that we can do it. Sometimes that means checking out success stories. If you go to dansyoutube.com, it'll bring you to my YouTube channel. There's a playlist button. Scroll through there, you will find the success stories. And now, while it's not a ton, I do have 37 success stories, each one about 30 to 60 minutes long, people sharing their stories. And you'll hear many of these people were terrified, completely stuck in the medical system, completely feeling broken, and they came out the other side. And so if you don't believe you've got what it takes, look and see how terrified some of these people were. And they were still able to, with persistence, consistency, immersing themselves in this world and kind of turning their back on the medical world, which has failed them and likely failed you. Many of these people come out the other side. And so I also get tons of comments on YouTube and Facebook, and the vast, vast, vast majority are people saying, I am doing better implementing these concepts. And so it's absolutely possible for you too. So if you believe you don't have what it takes, I'm too anxious, I'm too scared, I'm too freaked out, begin. Trust that this is a real deal. Trust that people before you have gotten better, and trust that they were a human being and you're a human being. So if they can get better, you can get better, because the human beings generally work the same. Now, some people might think, well, my trauma is deeper than theirs, or my symptoms are worse than theirs. And yes, there are varying degrees of intensity of symptoms, varying degrees of intensity of the traumas that we've overcome. But I'm the eternal optimist. I believe that everybody, regardless of your history, regardless of your symptoms, I believe that everybody, you too, can get better. Because all this is your brain sounding the warning signals based on bad data, misinformation, and a boatload of fear. But when you get the right information and immerse yourself in this concept, learn about it, see that it applies to you with the assessments I mentioned earlier, and then don't talk yourself out of being able to recover because I don't have what it takes. I'm not strong enough. I'm not calm enough. I'm too freaked out. My symptoms are worse. Don't talk yourself out of this. Because if the dominant thought that you've got is, I will never be able to do this, your brain's going to believe that. What would happen if you changed the script to say, well, I totally understand what this perceived danger stuff is and how it creates pain, because that brain's job is to keep us safe and alive. Totally understand that. And I do believe 100% that this applies to me. I've got too many examples of my pain behaving like TMS or perceived danger pain, meaning the brain's creating it, not the body. So don't talk yourself out of recovery. Talk yourself into it. Reassure yourself, I can do this. Hey, come on, Dan. You've got this. You know what's going on. You know it applies to you. Tons of people have gone before you and gotten better. I can too. I can too. I am strong enough for this. I have the right information now, so I am not nearly as afraid as I used to be. And I know that following a proven process, I can do this too. And so watch the success stories, watch my daily videos. That's what these are all about, is to give you consistent confirmation of the accurate knowledge, what's going on, how to get well, and also to kind of support you through the process, to kind of lift you up and say, hey, I believe in you. I know you can get better too. You absolutely can. So if you are not confident, borrow my confidence. If you're not optimistic, borrow my optimism. I have enough optimism for you and everybody else who's listening. I know that this stuff works. I've seen it over and over again. The feedback that I've gotten through emails, private messages, comments on YouTube and Facebook, success stories I've done, the feedback from the group coaching, the one-on-one coaching. This stuff works, and it can work for you. So please, don't talk yourself out of recovery by thinking that for some reason you don't believe you can do this. Belief is a decision you can make. Decide that this applies to you and that you can do this. Make the decision, because here's the cool part. Our brains constantly are scanning everything around us for proof that the things we believe are true. So if you believe that you can get better, your brain and this reticular activating system will continuously scan for evidence that Dan's belief that he can get better is true. But if you believe that you can't get better, that same system's going to look for proof that the disbelief is true, right? Because you believe you cannot get better. So the system's going to work the way it works. It's always going to be looking for evidence and confirmation that the things you believe are true. You may as well make a decision to believe that you can get well so that your brain can work for you instead of looking for all the reasons why you cannot get well. You can, you will. Immerse yourself in this. Make your dominant thoughts ones of belief, confidence. I can do this. Bravery. I'm strong enough. You've made it through every single bad day you've ever had. Every single bad day. You've got a 100% track record of making it through the tough stuff, and you're still here. Which means you are tough enough and capable enough to do this and come out the other side. I'm here for you. I'll show up every day. Watch these videos. If you know somebody who can benefit by it, share the videos. Tell them to go to dansyoutube.com. If you're not a subscriber here, hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. But look, I know you can do this. Belief is so powerful. If you don't believe, you're kind of choosing to make this a lot harder than it could be or needs to be. And if you choose to believe, your brain will go to work for you, looking for evidence that that belief that you can do this is accurate. Take advantage of how the system works. Feed it the correct knowledge, the accurate data. Feed it the belief that supports what you actually want, which is to get out of pain or symptoms, right? Feed it the right stuff, and you'll get the better output. Your brain will make better decisions for you. So, belief, so powerful. Make the decision that you can do this. I'll help you, and more importantly, your own brain will help you once you've decided to believe that this is the way out for you. Anyway, love you guys and gals. See you tomorrow. Take care.